Hello, everybody. It's my privilege to introduce to you, all the way from the south side of Chicago, the man, the myth, the legend, my Theo, your brother, the Southside Unicorn.
Romney wants to he said the first 100 days, he's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
Hey, everybody. That's right. It's Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show. And that bumper couldn't be more real if it was real. The man said they're going to put y'all back in chains. Now, you know, sometimes it seems like sleepy Joe Biden doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. But isn't it kind of ironic that it looks like they're trying to put us back in chains? Nobody can really put a handle on this COVID-19 or Chinese virus or China virus, whichever one you want to call it. Hey, I always had an old saying that goes, where you see timing, you must also see planning. You know, this thing comes along at a very peculiar juncture in history. It comes along at a time when everything was full steam ahead and we were doing absolutely great. And it looks like somebody threw a monkey wrench in our system. So here we are. Everybody's sheltering in place other than first responders and essential, personnel. Grocery stores are hiring tens of thousands of people just to keep the food supply going. It's a strange times. I could sit here right now and do my own version of Orson Welles, I could be like, ladies and gentlemen, it's the year 2020. And as I look across the landscape, I'm looking at Las Vegas, and it's a ghost town. Nobody's there. I'm looking in Times Square, and it's empty. Ladies and gentlemen, the apocalypse. We could talk like that. We could do that. But what good would that? Where would that help us? Talking to everybody on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the leftists, they have their ideas about this, they have their modalities. You talk to them, and anything relevant to what China's about to do, anything relevant to what China has done, anything relevant to trying to survive this, the first thing they're going to do is point you to Bush 41. They're going to point you to, the past, and that this is the fault of the Republicans and NAFTA and all that. And, if you really listen to them right now, they could drive you nuts. It's like, where are you coming from with the stuff that you're talking about? NAFTA, that's got Clinton's fingerprints all over it. All over it. So it's like, I don't really comprehend, how we can be trying to talk about how we get out of this mess, how do we move forward, and who's responsible. Now, when it comes to responsibility, we have to remember one simple thing. The left has never been keen on placing responsibility anywhere except squarely in the lap of the GOP or Republicans or conservatives or Christians, or people who don't believe like they do. But we need to start asking the tough questions. What's going on here? Where did this start? And where are we headed? Because see, right now, this feels a little bit like a bunch of cattle, sheep, or whichever one you want to use. It feels like somebody has popped off a pop gun and everybody's going, and everybody's just stampeding into the grocery stores, stampeding for that water, stampeding for toilet paper. Now, we're human beings, and we're the most fortunate human beings on the planet. We live in America. You go inside of an American grocery store and the aisles are empty. I mean, well, not all empty. You know, healthy stuff like lettuce, carrots, apples. Oh, all that stuff is there. You can go in and get an apple right now. You can go in and get some carrots if you wanted to. But go in and try to get yourself some water and toilet paper. Buddy, you out of luck. And that is what, we're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm waiting for you guys to catch up with what's going on here and come on in here and have this conversation. But that and many other things are what we're here to talk about tonight. We're going to just chill out together. Hopefully you got your favorite beverage. You know how I do it. Hopefully you got your favorite beverage with you. It does not have to be alcohol. I've always said that. It can be coffee, tea, milk, apple juice, whatever. Just get yourself something, kick on back, and relax, and let's have this conversation. All I can say is this. This is a test, ladies and gentlemen. No matter what powers that be are pulling on us or trying to, play their little reindeer games, at the end of the day, it's still just a test to us. Now, we're either going to pass or fail it in how we, work with each other, how we deal with the situations that, pop up. Case in point, why are you taking all the water? I think, I did a show the other day called We All Need Water. I hope you listen to it. I hope you get a chance to go back and listen to that show. Some people think I'm talking about just the water, in your can or whatever. I'm talking about a whole bunch of waters. You'll see for yourself. I don't want to spoil the point of that show. You're going to have to check it out for yourself. But yeah, here we are in modern America. And we're I don't know if the COVID-19 or the China virus is the actual issue, if you know what I mean. I think we are. I think that the virus is real. I think that you need to listen to the CDC. I think you need to wash your hands as much as possible. If you don't have hand sanitizer, which the irony of that, trip on this. The hand sanitizer comes from China. It's coming up out of China. So keep yourself clean. Keep your items around you clean. Now, they call this thing social distancing. I marvel at that. Because the left, and when I say the left, I'm just trying to identify those people who are on that side of the house who are word players. They play with words. That's how you destroy a civilization. If you can destroy the meaning of their words, the meaning of their language, well then, my friend, you are halfway to beating them. And so every time we try to get a handle on something, every time we try to define what this is that's going on in our country, here comes the left trying to tell us how we get to categorize it, how we get to speak about it. What's going on with this? You can't say it's this. You can't call it that. Because if you do, you're being, what? Racist. This is part of the problem, ladies and gentlemen. Because we're trying to get a handle on what this is. We're trying to look at how we go forward. And these people are telling us, you can't even identify what's going on. We won't let you. You can't identify what's going on because we're going to grab you. And I'm talking like mentally, not physically yet. We're going to grab you and handcuff you and make you wrestle with me over foolishness, over nonsense. So you never take the time to look at what's really going on. Now, I could say something like, if you were asked a year ago if you could ever imagine something like this going down, or even 2 years ago. Most people would be like, no, not in America. That kind of stuff don't happen. I've been telling y'all for 10 years. 10 years. Watch this. Really, like a year before Obama was elected, because, see, I knew. I saw him on that Democratic convention speech he made, and it scared the living hell out of me. I looked at that man on that podium, and I could see right through him, as if though he were tissue paper. I can say that with an absolute affirmity because I'm right. I'm absolutely right. If it had been 20 years later or 15 years later, and Obama was the greatest president that ever lived, and racial tension was totally, managed, and the country was in a prosperous manner, and blacks and whites were getting along excellently, then I would be wrong. But I am not wrong, because I said he is the Sardinian swordsman to America. He brings desolation with him. Well, he had 8 years in office. We were blessed with we are blessed, correction. We are blessed with an awesome leader right now. But the trajectory of America was already set. And here we are. We're in our homes. We're under quarantine, basically. Because, see, if you check my Twitter page, at KenWhite4444, or you go and look on my Facebook page, which is, it's a group page, facebook.com/groups/KenWhite4444. If you go look anywhere, look on my Instagram, you'll see I made a meme a while back, and that meme read like this: China is a hornet's nest, and we are about to strike it without a beekeeper suit on. And for that, we'll have to wear a hazmat uniform. I made that meme. And now here we are. COVID-19. Now here we are. Chinese virus. Now here we are. China virus. Whichever one you want to call it. It's moving in the strangest ways. I ain't never seen nothing like this. I even said to everybody that Venezuela would be the primer. That Venezuela would be the primer about COVID-19. People all chuckling and laughing and all that stuff. You guys had better get smarter about what's going down. Now, am I here with tinfoil on my head and just trying to scare y'all all up? No, not at all. But you see, I'm just one person. Can't fix this thing by myself. I'm going to need you guys. And you guys are going to need the guys standing next to you. The only way we're going to save ourselves with this is to work together. And, you know what? I got to pause for a minute because I'm going to turn this thing into a podcast. So I got to just stop for a second and make it a break, okay? So I'm giving myself like a 10-second break here. Hang on, y'all. And we are back to start again on what is a live show, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it into a podcast too, so we're gonna just sit here and chit chat all night long. We're gonna do whatever we want to do, however we want to do it, right? We're all chilling out. So now I'm trying to get back to this being a test. This is a test no matter who's perpetrating this thing on us. It's a test because of how we're going to respond to it. You go into a grocery store and there's water. As they're trying to tell us, we have plenty of resources. But if you act like there ain't no tomorrow, if you're that person in there acting like, this is the end of the world, it's the end of the world and you know it, right? If you're that person, you're the problem. You are the problem. Get yourself some water, you know, and then leave some for the other people. Because, you know, and I always put it this way. I put it in this metaphoric way. I ask, what if this wasn't a virus? What if it was an alien invasion? What if spaceships were coming to get us? And you're going to take all the water for yourself? Well, now, that's a lot of human beings you're going to have to live without because you've made a bad choice. How many humans do you want to see go away and leave you here on this planet by yourself with the aliens and a whole bunch of water? We have got to think about each other. We have got to remember our greatest strength, our greatest resource, our greatest hope is in each other. That's why I say it's time for us to, I'm not talking about rebellion or nothing like that. But just like even the doctors that are hanging around with our president, I made a meme about that. I made a meme about that months and months and months ago, and that meme read just like this. If we have leftists and socialists and Marxists and Nazis literally teaching our children from 0th grade to the undergraduate level, how long is it going to take before those very same people that they educated are now the educators? And how much true education will remain and how much of it will be indoctrination? So you got scientists. They're the best in the world. They know everything. But are they socialists? Are they leftists? Are they Marxists or Nazis? Cutting the president off in the middle of trying to reassure his people because you got some technical knowledge. Everything that's going on right now ain't about technical knowledge. It ain't because this man's got the white lab coat on and the stethoscope, but he gonna cut the president off and say, no, that's not quite right. And what does that do? That allays, that delays. These are the same tactics you would use in a, counter-terrorist type of move. You would delay, distract. Okay? The president is speaking. You don't get to interrupt him and act as if though he's absolutely misspeaking. His job is to assure the people. His job is to try to induce calm in his people. Look at our stock market. This is atrocious. Will it rebound? Of course it will. If there's an America, it's going to rebound. Of course it will. But at the same time, when you get those kind of runs, it's not going to be long before people run on the banks. They run on this, they run on that. And the very structure of America is going to collapse. And what's egging this on? What's making this part of the problem? You got it. Those darn leftist Democrats, so-called journalists. I mean, the way they're even talking to the president. If it were me, if they don't address him with a level of civility and calm and without these loaded, I don't know what I want to call it, loaded, childlike questions, there should be 4 people in that room that literally walk up to them and escort them out. Escort them the hell out. The man has a hard enough job as it is, doing what he's doing without all that foolishness, without all that extra. And to be honest, we don't need to hear that. We don't need to hear that. We all are entertaining our own fears and concerns right here, right now. They keep trying to tell you that the president's a liar and he's this and that. Well, it is awfully difficult when you have the kind of people who have beset us on our country and they playing this simple game right here, y'all. If I said that underneath the and watch this. I mean, I'm trying to explain this the best way I know how. If I say to you that there's a bag of walnuts over there on the table. Now, I seen them. And I'm telling you, there's a bag of walnuts over there. But then these people who are working in concert to try to destroy our nation, to try to rob us of a good president, to try to suck us back into this globalist ideal, they do sleight of hand and they move the walnuts and put pecans. Well, now when you go over there and look at the table, it's pecans, and they go, oh, we told you he's a liar. Look at these pecans over here. These are pecans. These ain't walnuts. And I'm saying that to say this. No matter what the president tries to say, like when he said that one state didn't have anybody that was sick, and 5 minutes after he said it, here comes somebody that's sick. They're going to blame him for that. They're going to try to use that to say he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's these little gotchas that these people are playing. And we had better become smarter and stronger than that. Because after all, who are these gymnastics for? Why did they put the pecans on the table? Okay, of course it's to make the president look bad, but it's to fool you, to fool us. To make us buy into the fact that they're not fake media, that the left knows what they're doing, that y'all may as well come on back into the fold and let us lead again, because with this man in charge, look at all the mess we're in. Well, it's a mess you made. It's a mess the left made. It's a mess the media made. You guys are over there kowtowing to China. You're over there playing games with Iran. You got, what's his name, John Kerry, going over to Iran after the president has made his decision about them. Ladies and gentlemen, it's these things that have us where we are. Jog your head, get it straight. Figure it out. It's not our president. It's not the course he has us set on. It's all the people through all the time that he's been president who have been trying to undermine him. So what we're going to do, y'all, we're just going to sit here and watch them dog our president out, lie to us, mislead us, and literally give comfort to our enemy it's our White House press room. I have never been more angry than watching people ask the president questions that puts China in a better light than us. They should have been escorted out of the press room. Now, we're all locked in our houses right now. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't understand it in its totality, because when you think about it, they tell you social distancing, and all this stuff, and that being 6 feet apart is enough. Well, now, Mr. Smart Doctor, the same one that contradicted our president. Well, now, Mr. Got it going on, World Health Organization, make up your damn mind. Either 6 feet is good enough or it was never good enough. Either there's some level of mobility we can still retain, or y'all had it wrong from the start and the president ain't no doctor. So who is that on? Who is that really on? And so America, the world, we better catch our breath. Yes, people are dying. People die every day. Hell, the day I was born, somebody died. When I die, somebody's going to be born. That's the system. That's where we live. We live in the physical plane known as planet Earth. So now we're going to be running all around scared because people are dying? You couldn't be that weak. I hope you're not. I know I'm not. And so, even with my friend Mo Kelly, yesterday, he was saying that, we got to do this and we got to do that. And, this is going to get much worse. It better not get worse than this. This is unimaginable as it is. Ain't never seen nothing like this in my whole life. And there are people older than me, and they say the same things. They've never seen anything like this in their whole life. So, no, it better not get worse than this. Because our freedoms are what we're going to have to change for that. Who was it that said it? Was it Franklin Roosevelt that said anybody who would sacrifice their freedoms for safety and security deserve neither? I hope I said that right. but you know what I mean. I'm gonna do like Joe Biden. You know the thing. So we got some choices to make, ladies and gentlemen, and we have better, get on it. Like case in point, Don Lemon. This man is supposed to be from the media. He's supposed to be a journalist. He reminds me more of Tokyo Rose than anything. How dare he go on the public airwaves and say that the President of the United States is gaslighting us? This man's time is done, y'all. I don't know who in the hell is listening to Don Lemon. But when you break it down, and we're in a crisis mode, and we should be deferring to the leadership of the White House, we got little jabronis like this speaking in impunity against our president. Don Lemon says, Trump is gaslighting you over coronavirus. That's straight out of a military war book where the enemy is giving you disinformation. The president has been spot on, dead on about everything he's done. I mean, my goodness, I don't know how much credit I want to put into it, but you have leftist politicians, you have leftists who are saying, thank you, President Trump, because you have been on it. You have been handling business. And then Don Lemon going to pop off with, he's gaslighting us? If it didn't sound like a true call to violence, because that's not what I'm about and that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying metaphorically. Somebody ought to slap him straight in his mouth. This Don Lemon is disgusting. I mean, ooh. In fact, you know what? I ain't even going to get on this cat. Because if I go down the Don Lemon pie hole, it's going to get nasty and ugly. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This dude is trash. And I'm sick of it. I only report on him because it's just part of a conversation that we need to have. Stay away from CNN. There ain't nothing over there for you. It's toxic. I wanna go ahead and set this up for a break so that we can come back, because like I said, I'm going to turn this into a podcast, but it's live right now. When I come back, I want to talk about what Don Lemon is doing and what's happening over there at CNN, because it's relevant to the show that I did called We All Need Water. Those of you who've heard that show, you understand what I'm saying already. Those of you who haven't heard the show, you don't understand what I'm saying, but I'm going to give you a little tidbit, and you still need to go listen to the podcast show called We All Need Water. It's a good show. I'm going to pause for a minute to do the insert. And we are back. Hey, feel like listening to some music too, because you know how I do it on this show. We listen to music, we talk about stuff. My man Toot Sweet, I'm down for him, you know that. And so I like playing his music on the show because he's got good music, and he's one of ours. Toot Sweet is an American patriot. He's been here from the beginning. If you go on his YouTube page, Toot Sweet, you'll hear all his different music and whatnot. He's featured me and my son in a few of his videos. One of my sons that passed away. I miss you, Alex. I miss you a lot. We're just really starting to get to know each other, son, and I'm sorry I wasn't a better father to you. I've been the father that you deserved. But yeah, he featured me and my son in one of his videos. He featured me in a couple of his videos. He is a straight up patriot. So you want to get over there to some of that music. And if you want to catch up with him on Twitter, his Twitter handle is @Hey, H-E-Y, Tootsweet, T-O-O-T-S, sweet. And you'll get a hold of him. Listen to some of his music, because he's like me. I wasn't scared of Obama. I let people know right off the bat, I did not like Obama, and I was not afraid of him. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, in the height of the Obama madness, I'm telling people who he is. Black people looking at me like, man, you crazy. I'm like, oh, I'm crazy. Well, you wait 8 years from today, and then you tell me, if I was crazy. Well, it's been 8 years. And go take a look at Chicago. It's still the damn same. Obama didn't change anything. In fact, he made it worse. I had people even tell me that. Black people that I know said to me, you know what, Kenny? Actually, it's worse here now because of him. Better recognize. So, yeah, like I was saying, Toot Sweet is one of ours. He has his own library of music. I would suggest that you guys show him some love and some support. You know, I'm going to play one of his songs right now that he made. It's an homage song that he dedicated to Candace Owens. But it's also dedicated to all the fighters out there, guys. And you know, what a better time to hear this song than right now. It's called One Wish. And it's for all of us who don't know how to give up, who are ready for the fight, who understand what's going on. Take a listen. Toot Sweet song, One Wish.
One wish, one star. What will you wish for?
You gotta toughen up. And when people are able to strap you to the existence of being a victim, when people sell you that being a victim is a brand that is cool, they can control you. And that's what we see happening in so many different communities. You can be gay and not be a victim. You can be black and not be a victim. What we're seeing spreading like wildfire is a victor mentality. The idea that you can overcome anything that you've lived through.
One wish, one star. Two wish.
Listen to the words of a king.
What will you wish for?
Don't make me out a victim, I'm victorious.
If you had one wish, one star. Two wish.
Listen to a king when he sings.
What will you wish for?
I'm just a man on the outside looking in, and what I've seen these last 30 years been troubling. Nothing but deceit, manipulation, so much pain and devastation by committing the original sin. The label devil didn't listen to the prophet sing. So let me take you back to the beginning. In the words of a king, you judge a man by the content of his character, not by his race, creed, or color of skin. Those were the words of a king.
One wish, one star. Two wish.
Listen to the words of a king.
What will you wish for?
Don't make me out a victim, I'm victorious.
If you had one wish, one star. Two wish.
Listen to a king when he sings.
What will you wish for?
Don't make me out a victim, I'm victorious. It's like a recipe that's blessing me, bringing out the best of me, aggressively testing me to create my own destiny and understanding, universally accepting adversity and learn more lessons in life than you'll learn in any university. Inspired by the gospel that's written in stone inside of me, to trust and confide in my conscience that gives a guide me to always practice what you preach, never compromise the principles. So much knowledge that you reach, remember that you're invincible.
One wish, one star.
Don't make me out a victim, I'm victorious.
One wish, one star.
Yeah, listen to a king, sing it to me, girl.
If you had one star or wish, tell me what you'd do with it. Blow it out, keep it lit. A flame still burns on a candlestick. I don't wanna be here, I don't even think there. Face on my face, gonna wipe all my tears as I get up off my knees, yeah. One wish, one star.
You can overcome anything you put your mind to.
One wish, one star.
If I had one wish, I would do it for you.
One wish, one star.
We could change the world if we really wanted to.
One wish, one star.
We can overcome anything we put our minds to.
One wish, one star.
No, I'm not a victim, I'm victorious.
One wish, one star.
No, I'm not a victim, I'm victorious.
One wish, one star.
No, I'm not a victim, I'm victorious.
One wish, one star.
In the words of a king, we're all victorious.
Amen. That's right. We're victors, not victims. And that's the thing that we're talking about right now, everybody. Shake your head, shake your body, shake your legs, shake your feet. And remember, always remember, we are America. Because, see, they're going to try and wear us down, y'all. They're going to try to keep this thing going as long as humanly possible. And the natural result of that is, I mean, look, we can be the strongest people we want to be, but if you begin to go in a trajectory, some stuff gonna happen. So you literally almost have to be defiant in the ideal of these people saying, oh, we're gonna just trust the people to be compliant. You know, that's what Plastic Man said. That's what Gavin Newsom said. We're just going to trust our people to be compliant. Well, California is so full of jacked up people, he's relying on that because a lot of you got your head screwed on really bad. That's why California looks the way it does right now. And he's relying on you to be the new Buntes. You know, when the Nazis was really trying to get their stuff ramped up, when Hitler was trying to do that Mein Kampf move, he had the kids. He had the young people narking on their parents. He had them squealing, ratting. You know what I'm saying? You know how they say snitching. Yeah, that's the word, snitching, right? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the damn beginning of that. Don't be fooled. I'm relying on you. I'm relying on the community to tell on each other. They're going to keep each other in check. Well, how do you understand that to work? So now, instead of the good nosy neighbor, you know, the old lady that lived next door to you, and every time magically somehow you come out your door, her curtain will pop open. You'd be like, damn, she checking me out? Well, it was a good thing, actually, back in the day, because she was looking for the bad guys. She was doing you a favor, even though you thought she was being a little bit nosy at 2 in the morning when you come home with a friend. But see, now the script has been flipped. Now, it's the young people pulling back the curtain. And they looking at you. And they don't give a damn if you're coming home with a friend. They just care that you went outside your doors. That you were doing something that you weren't supposed to be doing. You weren't going to walk your dog and go back in. You weren't going to go get water and food and come right back. He was out in public, just out there. Who do I call? Well, I'm sure Gavin Newsom's going to give you a phone number in the next couple of days of where you can call and tell them that you've seen people outside their home. Hell, like I said years ago, this place we're at now could not be done without the permission, the consent, and the compliance of law enforcement. And I warned that if we continue to let Obama and the Black Lives Matters and all the different forces come against our law enforcement, you know, a New York cop sitting down eating lunch and some crazy brother runs up behind him and busts a cap in his head. And nobody seems to give a damn. A cop does his job and it costs him his whole life and career, you know, just like over in Ferguson with Mr. Brown. This cop was a newlywed. Just bought his home, beautiful bride, doing his job. This jabroni, Brown, decides he wants to bull rush this cop and try to take his weapon. And now while the cop was exonerated, look at the hell it put him through. So when you think about campus police who have mortgages, I said this on a show. I used to be a guest host on the Lou Desmond show. So if you want to, you know, just check this out, to you guys, this is all new. This is where I knew exactly we would be. I don't know why you're not listening. I don't know why you guys aren't putting your energy where it's supposed to be. You're not sheep. You're people. And you're supposed to be Americans. Been telling you guys we were going to get here. And I'm talking about the cops right now. Their livelihoods, their lives have been threatened with impunity. Compliments of Barack Obama. Because, you know, the alleged victims could be his son. They could be just like, you know, his kids. That's how we got here, ladies and gentlemen. And so now, the cops that are out there, the ones that are doing it by the numbers, God bless you. You know, I used to be a cop myself. And I say it every day. I have the greatest respect for those out there who are still doing the job and doing it right. But now, it looks like if as California goes, so goes Oregon, so goes everybody else. Now it looks like our cops are about to become babysitters. Actually, it looks like our cops are about to become innkeepers. or jailers. Because what happens if you go outside your house? I'm curious. What happens if you decide to go out of your house and just go for a walk? You ain't got no dog. You just want to go for a walk. What's going to happen to you? Because, see, the requirements are you need to be walking a dog. You need to be taking somebody some weed, because the medical marijuana facilities are protected. They're part of the group of people who can travel to and fro. Wonder why that is. Is it because they're socially woke? What else are they carrying? Who are they meeting? See, their freedoms aren't restricted. Just the guy who wanted to be independent, because, see, they made their first salvo against the independent when they tried to make that law to get rid of Uber drivers and Lyft drivers and anybody else who wanted to live outside of the control and the purview of the leftist. Because, see, independent contractors, the self-employed, these people, 9 times out of 10, don't want nothing to do with no big government. So now they get you again. Because the only people that are allowed free movement, better stop and think about what I'm saying. The only people that are allowed free movement are the ones under their tent. Go ahead and make yourself a scratch list and take a look at it and write it down and look at who has free movement and then look at who doesn't. All right, so we got COVID-19 up in the house. I understand. We must demand clear answers to how to control this. That's one. We need an end date to it. And then there must be consequences for everybody involved in this. This was not a natural occurrence, ladies and gentlemen, and you know that by now. So again, you can look on the top of my head and you ain't gonna see no tinfoil. I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat. This was not by accident. This was something put into play. There's a young man out there, and we're going to talk more about it as we come back from the little pause I got to do, because I'm on it, I don't want to miss that money, because, y'all need to up the donations. If I had to say anything about it, y'all need to up the donations. But if you don't, I got to go ahead and put these commercials up in here, because a brother got to get paid. I mean, they closed down the restaurants, the bars, and all of that. And so my other way of getting paid is totally obliterated. It's gone till further notice. But yeah, there's a young man named Mahmoud Alawadi. His video is going around all over the place. That man nailed it. He stole the show, because he's absolutely right. We're going to take a pause break for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. And we are back. As I was saying before we did the pause break, his name is, and I hope I pronounce it right, Mahmoud Alawadi. Mahmoud Elawadi. Get a look at that video. Now, my friends on Facebook and Twitter, we patriots. We working it. So, I've gotten the video several times. I saw it and I was like, okay, it's there. But then I decided, I said, you know what? I'm going to put on the brakes and I'm going to go ahead and invest some eyeball juice in what this man is trying to say. Let me just see what's going on with him. And he's spot on right, y'all. He's spot on right. And now I am asking us, what's wrong? Are you scared? Are you afraid to die? Do you think that if you get involved, it's going to get worse for you? I've been saying it for years. It's going to get worse for you no matter what, unless you fight for your life and your freedom. Now, what does fighting look like? It doesn't have to be violence in the street right now. It could just be remaining focused to the truth, which is this is America. And we don't have government bodies doing to us what's happening right now. This had better be temporary. That's our greatest mission right now. Make damn sure this is only temporary. We cannot allow this to become the new norm. But they are definitely going to try to make that happen. I'm going back to what I said earlier in the show, which, I don't like repeating myself, but I got to do it because it's got to be caught. The president is trying to allay our concerns and fears, doing what a president is supposed to do, and Mr. Doctor Man cuts him off. When have you ever seen that in life? This virus ain't that damn bad. This virus ain't that damn powerful. That all of a sudden it's going to usurp the power of the president, right? Right? We done watched this man weather all kind of hell from liars, usurpers, traitors, just pure out traitors. They've tried everything they can to harm this presidency. And now they think they got the magic bullet, metaphorically speaking. Now they think they got the magic bullet. They got the coronavirus or the Chinese virus, whichever one you want to call it. I made a joke earlier today. I might go back and pull it out. I might. But see, I'm a little upset myself. I'm starting to get a little mad here, y'all. So I may or may not pull it out. In fact, you guys tell me whether I should pull it out. But I said on response to this media personality who was trying to argue whether we should call it, COVID-19 or the Chinese virus or the China virus, whichever one. And I said to her in a tweet back to her, I said, President Trump has no choice but to call it the China virus. Because you see, the term yellow fever has already been taken. Woo! Am I getting salty or what? But see, the yellow fever actually started in Africa back in the 1700s, and it too was a primate virus transferred to humans. But it was in Africa, and yet they still called it the yellow fever. This guy from Turk 187 or whatever his name is, Sayek or whatever, he's sitting there trying to yell at the president. I have a Vietnamese wife and my kids are Vietnamese, half Vietnamese, and da-da-da-da-da. Man, what's up? What's up? You know how we brothers roll, so I ain't got no shame in my game. I'll never be ashamed of my children. Even when I was kicking it out there in the streets, if it looked like we was going to start getting close, and you knew about my kids, I would never have my children. Now, do I have children with a couple baby mamas? Yeah, I do. So, as a result, some of my children are half black, half white. Some of my children are half Latino, half black. And I'm getting back at this guy and I'm saying to him, when you hear the word black plague, that didn't bother my children none, because the children learn how to react to this world from their parents. And being in my children's lives to the point that I could be, no, we ain't operating like that. We operating as human beings. You know what I'm saying? So back to Mr. Turk, whatever your name is, it's you, man. Your children, as he said, were all upset. They're upset because daddy ain't calm, because daddy's not sewing into his children the right way. You want your children to be triggered. Now we're going to have to deal with them 20 years from today, walking around with a chip on their shoulder about what their ethnicity is. That's what we're trying to get away from. I'm raised human beings. And they're all beautifully arrayed, every last one of them. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we have to fight against for our president. I feel so bad for President Trump. It's like he's Leonidas, in the hop gates, and he's like the last one standing almost. I mean, Xerxes, aka Obama, because don't you doubt for one damn second that Obama's fingerprints aren't on this thing. I will say it. I will say it. I will say it. This president is enduring the most incredible. Tonight, being Friday night, George Norrie was doing a worldwide prayer request. So I'm going to join in with that because I'm part of the world. So are you. All he wants us to do is pray that this COVID-19, that this China virus is resolved, that our president is protected and imbued with power. You can do that. Just take a second in your heart and in your mind and just pray for our president, pray for our country. Because, see, they may think they have the best weapons, the microphone, sitting inside these classrooms, poisoning our children's minds, coming up with these incredible viruses and whatnot. Because, see, you got to remember, there were professors arrested who appear, perhaps, possibly, maybe, were in Wuhan, China, doing stuff they had no business doing. These are American big brain scientists from Harvard and all that. But see, that's the problem with the damn eggheads. That's the problem with this quote unquote elite core of people in our country. They want to be globalist. They're mad as hell that Great Britain and Australia and America and the Philippines ain't playing that game. China ain't playing that game. Correction. Japan ain't playing that game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a strike back. This is the hardest strike back they're going to get. Anything from here needs to just be open aggression. Yeah, I said it. Anything they do from this point needs to just be pure, naked, open aggression. Because we have got to be getting sick and tired of the relentless ebbing and tiding of their blue wave, of their ebbing and tiding of their corruption. I mean, come on. Look at the freaking, what is that thing? The Democrat debates for the primaries or whatever. Look, I ain't never seen nothing more corrupt in my damn life. Watch, okay, and I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that will agree with me on this. Tulsi Gabbard is fine. Ooh, man. Ladies, I'm not objectifying. I'm just keeping it real. Tulsi Gabbard, that's Sheena or Shira or Wonder Woman or Gal Gadot, whatever you want to call it. That's a nice woman, but she's crazy because she's part of that leftist incredible ideal of global warming and this and that. But just like the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, wait, you know what? I'm gonna have fun with this. I'm gonna let him say it because he said it better than I did. Ready? This is what Dr. King said.
Justice is indivisible. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
And what they did to Tulsi Gabbard, chopping her up out of that darn debate on Sunday, that was an injustice. We should have all been speaking out about that. See, we're missing the point. We're missing the whole choo-choo train, letting these leftist Democrats and mainstream media and whatnot hold on to the talking point. We are America. We're about justice and fairness. Our greatest opportunity to demonstrate that would have been, even though she is a Democrat, whack job. We were supposed to come to Tulsi Gabbard's support because in this country, in the world that I live in, being a man of God, being an American, being a veteran, being an ex-cop, let your yes be yes and your no be no. She did everything she was supposed to be there on Sunday. And yet she was not there. All that was there was two old guys. Now, I could have said two old white guys, but their color don't matter. All that was there was two old empty suits. Both of them octogenarians, close to. Both of them with over 40 years of experience in politics. So I did a little math on them. When you add Biden and Sanders together, you have over 226 years of life experience and political experience, and it adds up to nothing. Adds up to nothing. So if the Democrat Party is willing to have these two vapid, vacant, old, crusty, tired son of a guns running for the office, do you know what that tells you, ladies and gentlemen? That means they know something we don't know. Because they ain't lost their minds. I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. Yeah, they ain't lost their minds, but they're not stupid. If that office really, really meant something to them, and they really, really needed it back, oh, they'd have put up better candidates than what they did. But see, they don't need that office no more. Don't mean nothing. They got control by unelected officials. They got control by the media. They got control because they're telling us what to do, what to think, when to drink. They got control because we're giving it to them without a ballot box. We got a president fighting his heart out for us. But these guys are done with the office of president. Why do you think that is? All you got to do is look at what Gavin Newsom is doing. All you got to do is look at what the governor of Oregon did. First she said she wasn't going to do it, and bam, blammo, in the blink of an eye, now she looks just like California. I call it California gun. You know, because California and Oregon, same crap. Let's just hope it doesn't become Texas California gun. Let's just make sure it doesn't become Las Texas California gun. Because Las Vegas, Nevada is catching hell too. They don't need the office of president anymore, ladies and gentlemen. They got COVID-19. So how long are we going to let them use this as a tool, a means to their ends, to still get what they want, regardless to where we were headed? Man, we was on a MAGA train, a Keep America Great train of proportions I had never seen in my life. I was just in Las Vegas a month ago, and I never saw so much positive energy and people and such an obvious trajectory. President Donald J. Trump was and is on course to having the greatest election results this nation has ever seen. So that's why the left doesn't care about the presidency anymore. That's why the left has sought alternative means of control. Because they'll never get that office back for a minute. They'll be lucky if they held on to the Congress, which they won't. They would have been lucky to get that much out of this election coming up, and they know it. And so what are they doing? Postponing elections, postponing, primaries. And just going to put, Biden right there. And the worst part about that, ladies and gentlemen, is that all of it flies in the face of the normalcy of our nation. And that's where they're winning. Because when they can get us to think that what they're doing is cool and it's the norm, then what's the point in a ballot box? What's the point in voting? Because all they're going to do is work behind the scenes and do god-awful stuff. People need to be punished legally with the justice system for the things that they are doing. That's why we made our justice system one of the strongest in the world, because back in the olden days, without a justice system so empowered, we reaching for the bullet box and not the ballot box. We did have a civil war. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we did have one of those. Ladies and gentlemen, I like doing this live stuff. I'm going to check the metrics on it, see if it's something I want to do again. I hope you enjoyed this, 1 hour of live. I might come back on live again tomorrow. Be ready to participate like you're doing right now. And let's have ourselves a conversation about our nation. Let's see what we're going to do so that we don't end up, ironically, on a reservation. Because, see, Americans are fewer than you think. There's a lot of people in our country that ain't got no feelings for us. But I won't talk about that right now. I digress. This is Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show. Thank you for being here. We'll be back tomorrow.